A very good afternoon to you fellow cruise aficionados, and welcome to the Wonder of the Seas, the largest ship in the world, and we happen to be on its maiden voyage, March 2022. We can't wait to show you around and tell all the things that we absolutely loved and a few things to watch out for. So let's check this ship out. And this is how you board the ship. I know it's only half capacity, but it's still very, very smooth embarkation. Looks like the party already started. Hello, thank you so much. Hello, nice to be here.
We made it!
I know.
We made it!
And there's champagne waiting for you. I'm good, thank you. To us, it is always super exciting to check out our stateroom. And here's our beautiful balcony room. Room 212 on deck 12. Let's check it out. It definitely has the new room smell.
Yep.
No doubt about that. Even though the room layout seems to be similar to other Royal Caribbean ships that we've been to, this has certainly that feel of a brand new ship. As you enter, there's a beautiful bathroom, very adequate with a glass enclosed shower, and a nice square sink. Of course, there's a thermostat, as you would expect on the ship that's built in 2022, or finished building in 2022. Closet with a safe. The safe, by the way, is pretty small. Probably good enough for an iPad, but definitely not a laptop, so you can see that only a passport and a wallet fit in it. And a couple of drawers underneath. A very nice feature is a little side lamp that has an American outlet and a USB outlet. There's some goodies.
Ooh.
I don't know if those are just for the inaugural cruise or for everybody, but
it works.
it works for Irina.
Oops, I'm sorry, I have to see myself. Ooh, that's cute. Adorable. How do I look?
Awesome. There's some weirdly located hooks here on the right-hand side, just under the TV. Not sure what they're for, but whatever.
I really like it.
I know.
I really like
Captain
it.
hat. There is another closet on the opposite side of the bed. And on either side there is a small table for whatnots. It's a nice little sofa here, maybe a pull-out. Doesn't really matter when you're traveling, when there's two of you traveling. Nice little desk here. Masks. Yeah, but masks are no longer required. One of the few cruises of 2022 where face diapers are no longer needed.
Exactly. Our kind of trouble.
Exactly. And of course we've got a little fridge here. Empty for now, but it will get filled up. A fan.
Plenty of drawers.
And a few drawers. Nice to have those. We missed them on the Scarlet Lady. They decided to go all minimalistic for us. And of course, balcony. Follow me. A bit of a deja vu from, 3 years ago when we were sailed on the Edge. And it is a bon voyage. A few more hours and we'll be hitting the waves of Caribbean. Can't wait. Cheers.
Cheers.
And this is how you want to sail away.
Yay.
With a water cannon salute. That sure was one sail away party
Yeah.
for the years until another one of this. And now when we're headed south, it is time to check out the rest of this beautiful floating city. We'll start the tour at the very back of the ship on the top deck, deck 16, and work our way forward and down somehow in some way, shape or form. Here we're greeted by this interesting critter, Ultimate Abyss, the launch zone of the Ultimate Abyss, where you can jump into one of those purple tubes and get launched down, landing I think on deck 5 or something like that. Pretty impressive. Maybe we'll try it someday. There's also a wave runner, a bar, one of God knows how many, and the Wonder Play escape for kiddos. And a ship of this size wouldn't be complete without a mini golf course. Just because we can. And of course there's that infamous zip line that lets you fly over the boardwalk. To the amusement of those who are sitting in a Windjammer buffet. There are 4 pools on the main deck, kind of spread evenly on the left and right side of the ship, close to the middle section of the boat. There are a few cabanas, and it seems like plenty of loungers. Since the ship was half capacity, we never had trouble finding a lounger or a daybed to chill on. Kids pool on the left-hand side towards the front of the ship, and on the opposite side of the central park, which we'll get to in a second, another pool and a few hot tubs. Area at the very front of the ship, the solarium, is reserved for adults only. It's definitely quieter. Very good size. And very open. Even though it's enclosed in some sort of bubbly panels at the top, it feels very open and airy. A few cascading pools at the very front. Really nice area to chill and check out where the ship is heading. A whirlpool on the right-hand side of the ship, still part of the solarium. Has glass sides and sort of hangs on the outside of the ship. Very unusual, pretty cool. And on the left side, instead of the pool, the whirlpool, they now have a bar. The point, of course, is still the same. Very nice views as this thing hangs over the edge of the ship. Let's head down to deck 8 and check out the central park. Yet another open area. Central Park is probably one of the most impressive areas, at least to us, as it does have real trees, brushes, grass, moss, and everything else you can imagine. And having that in the middle of the ship, in the middle of the ocean, is certainly something else. Area is surrounded by several restaurants, a venue in the center where they have concerts, and plenty of different seats in cozy little nooks. Just absolutely incredible. Quick and simple breakfast with a view. Every Oasis class ship has a very impressive artwork in the middle of the esplanade or promenade. For the Wonder of the Seas, they picked a pretty ginormous cowboy hat. Works for us. And works for this size of this area. It's hard to do justice to the size of the promenade. Enough to say that they got a Ford Mustang sitting here, and behind it a bar that happens to go up and down. I'm convinced. Royal Promenade impresses from every angle. Most of the stores, future excursions, guest services, places like that are all located around here. As well as the schooner bar on the second story. And finally, at the very end of the ship, we're in the open area again, a boardwalk. You're greeted by carousel,
What are you waiting for?
a Zoltar, there's a sports bar on one side, and Johnny Rockets on the other. And Boardwalk ends with an amphitheater. I got 2 climbing walls, an ice stadium seating, and the amphitheater itself. Which brings us to the topic of entertainment, which was absolutely top-notch. Amphitheater, the first time we saw the theater of this kind in the open ocean, is fantastic. All the performances were phenomenal, even though they said that it wasn't a fully rehearsed show, they're still working on the details. You know what, we still enjoyed it all the same. A main theater, which is clear on the other side of the ship, seems to be a pretty decent size.
Oh, how was your first full day at sea on board the Wonderful Wonder? Yes, was it great? Oh, so many familiar faces here. Look at that hat. Oh my goodness. Woo!
We didn't realize that the art of tap dancing is still alive. And the show that they put together was actually very, very, very cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax for the very first time.
And the
Rope
voices
production. This
is something
is
else. This is where there was absolutely no musical instruments used, no musical instruments used of any kind, and everything is done with just human voices. There are a few events in the music hall, which is a 2-story lounge. Kinda neat, and it overlooks the Central Park.
The very heart of it, New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps.
Boleros, a lounge that is a little smaller than the one on the Anthem of the Seas, hosts Latino music just about every night.
No sé si volveré a reír. Yo no sé, yo no sé. No sé si volveré a vivir. Yo no sé, yo no sé.
Across the street from Bolero, there is a karaoke bar where they got game shows and whatnot going on. And of course, a ship of this size have to have an ice skating ring. And again, the show that they put together was top notch. We enjoyed every moment of it and wanted to come back. And occasionally, ice skating rink would turn into a dance floor. By the way, parties on this ship were pretty cool too. Everything from your typical dancing to a silent disco. To impromptu entertainment from Jay. To just all around good times. And of course, after all the parties, one can get hungry. As one would expect on the ship of this size, the Windjammer Marketplace, which is the buffet, is pretty enormous. It's on deck 15 and actually spans both sides of the boardwalk. Windjammer Buffet operates a little different these days. They will help you load food on your plates, which is actually just fine. I think less goes to waste that way. We enjoyed breakfasts and lunches here, even an occasional dinner. Food selection was quite adequate, not the best in the world, but very solid. Not a bad deal for the first lunch or semi-dinner, if there is such thing. Supper. Lobster, fresh ceviche, shrimp, lobster bisque. Seems like it's working out well so far. And that's just the buffet. One of many neat places to grab a bite to eat, aside from the Windjammer, is Cantina Fresca. Pretty straightforward Mexican place. Nothing extraordinary, but solid bites for when you're somewhat hungry. And of course, there's a main dining room. I'd say food was quite enjoyable. Not necessarily the best that we've seen on Seven Seas, but no complaints really. Beef carpaccio and French onion soup for starters. And of course, with as many bars as we had on this ship, one would never get thirsty. As always, we prefer the real bar to this robotic contraption, but had to try it out again.
Oh.
And of course, on the cruise, every now and then we have a stop. These days, stops are somewhat limited. But we absolutely enjoyed Lebedi Haiti, the private resort. That's reasonably quiet, and we always stay at the very end of the touristy area here, from which you can get a best view of the boat. And it's just a little bit quieter there. Next up, was Puerto Rico. San Juan is probably one of our favorite destinations in the Caribbean, just because of a nice balance between the beautiful ocean and a bit of history and a somewhat European feel. We did dock right at San Juan, which puts us in town in 2 minutes flat. Town is very easy to explore, of course, just by walking around. It is very compact, and this time we just crisscrossed, zigzagged all the streets, checked out a few interesting spots, took a few pictures, had a cocktail, and headed back home to enjoy this beautiful view from our own balcony. And the next morning, the same balcony awarded a beautiful view of Atlantis, the super ugly mega resort, and an interesting event that Carnival Cruises put together. I believe for their 50th anniversary, they brought in, 5 or 6 ships. Kinda neat. Not that they'll sell on Carnival. No judgment. And finally, a private day at Coca Cay. A relatively small island, not too far from the mainland, which honestly we just enjoyed for a few hours and decided that being on the ship is actually a better experience. And so we did. And that about wraps it up. Stay cool, keep on cruising, and enjoy traveling. Cheers.